Hello, and welcome to our introduction session. This session is mainly focusing on basic guidance and tooling selection through ZCCCT's turning and milling products. First section, general turning products. While the ground rule of ISO standard for turning are practically the same, here we are going to break down and explain some different code naming regulations, along with some recommended grade and chip breaker combinations. Let's start with one CVD coding grade, YBC25-2. The initial YB, or sometimes just Y, stands for Chinese designation of carbide. Similar with ESCA's grade initial starts with IC, Teptex starts with TT, and Waters starts with W, which also could be functioning as to distinguish from other companies' grades. The cell letter C indicates the application group. C means this grade is designed for PEEK material applications for steel machining. Same explanation for other cell letter initials. M indicates M material applications for stainless steel machining, and D indicates K material applications for cast iron machining. Moving on, the following numbers. 25 indicates the application class range, and the last number 2 indicates the generation of this grade. In general, YBC25-2 stands for ZCCCT's second generation CVD coding grade for steel machining applications with P25 class range. Switch the cell letter C into M or D, the application group will be changed, except for that the explanations are practically the same. Next page, let's try a new CVD coding grade. YB6315. Now the code naming method is slightly different here. Initial YB still the same, but instead of the initial letter here, we can see a number 6, though still indicating P materials application. Here we change letter to number in order to show this is a new CVD coding grade. Moreover, the following number 3 stands for third generation of this grade. The last two numbers, 15, indicating the class range. Same as the previous one, YB7315. YB the same, number 7 stands for application group of K materials for cast iron machining. Number 3, third generation. 15, the K15 class range. Coming next, we can take a look at the PVD coding grade. YBG205. YB the same, G the cell letter, however, indicating not only the application group of P and M materials, which for steel and stainless steel machining, but also means this is the PVD coding grade, different from the CVD coding grade before. Then 20, the number P20 or M20 class range. 5 means the 5th generation. New PVD coding grade YB9320. Same code naming method for new model coding grades. Number 9 indicating application group. Number 3 the third generation. 20 the P20, M20 or S20 class range. Now please be noted, this new PVD grade has a wide application range across different materials, which means it could be applied on both steel, stainless steel, and heat-resistant materials machining, and we can also apply it for milling machining operations. Next one is an uncoated grade, YD indicating the uncoated carbide. Number 20, the N20 or S20 class range. 1, the first generation. Last one for this part, Summit grade YNT251. Code naming basically the same. YN indicating Summit. Please note the cell letter T stands for turning and G stands for general machining. Same as previous ones, 25 is class range and 1 the first generation. One more point to add. Take an example, YNG151C. The last letter C means this is a coated Summit grade. which tells us this is ZCCCT's first generation coated ceramic grade for P15, M15 or K15 class range machining applications. Except about grades, ZCCCT also do have PCBN, PCD, and ceramic grades for selection. For these grades such as CN2000, CN1000, YCB011, and YZB221, we shall not cover into this session. Please download our e-catalog for details from our websites. Now, the CVD grades sum up. Here we can see the standard first generation grades, YBC 15.1, YBC 25.1, and YBC 35.1, with coating composed medium temperature titanium carbonitride, 6 layers of aluminum Carbide and titanium carbonitride, suitable for steel machining from finishing to semi-finishing applications. Also, YBM 15.1 and YBM 25.1 for stainless steel machining from roughing to semi-finishing and to finishing applications. The next few pages, Black Diamond Insert Series, trademark named after the outside appearance of the coated inserts. ZCCCT has adopted 6 layers of titanium carbonitride and aluminum oxide CVD coating, which gives them significant improving on both impact toughness and wear resistance, thus achieving both higher cutting speed and longer tool life. Starting with the standard second generation of YBC series. For steel machining, combining with specially designed skeleton cutting edge, perfect unification of toughness and anti-plastic deformation, allowing 25% above cutting speed increase under the same working condition, or 30% longer tool life under the same cutting speed. The second generation of YBD grades for cast iron machining, YBD 052 for grade cast iron machining at high speed under dry condition with best wear resistance, YBD 102 for Ladula cast iron machining at high speed with excellent wear resistance and impact resistance. And since they can support moderate cutting speed and interrupt cuts, YBD 15.2 and YBD 25.2 can be also applied on both turning and milling machining of cast iron with good flaking resistance. Next one, YBM 15.3, best choice for high-speed roughing stainless steel under good working condition. The substrate has been added red element can resist high temperature, improves the capability of red hardness and anti-plastic deformation. YBM 25.3, ideal grade for turning stainless steel, roughing or heavy machining with high cutting depth and high free rate under condition with great impact. The gradient carbide substrate improves both the impact resistance and cutting edge strength. Last page for this part, recommended grade and chip breaker combinations. In order to better understand the recommended combinations, the basic code naming for ZCCCT's turning chip breakers should be also dressed clear as well. Let's take a look at the last letter of chip breakers. F stands for fine or finishing. M stands for medium machining or semi-finishing. R stands for rough or roughing. Besides this mentioned here, G stands for general machining and W stands for wiper. TC, the chip breaker, is specially designed for K or P material machining. LC and LH, also specially developed for aluminum material applications. Now, based on different materials. For P materials, the recommended combinations have been leveled with clearly structure. YBC 15.1 and YBC 15.2 combined with DF for finishing applications requiring high surface quality. YBC 25.1 and YBC 25.2 combined with DM and PM for semi-finishing under unstable working conditions or machining highly adhesive alloy. DR combined with YBC 25-1 or YBC 25-2 or YBC 35-2 according to the actual working conditions for multiple roughing application with enhanced cutting edges. YBC 35-1 and YBC 35-2 combined with HPR chip breaker for heavy machining roughing applications with unstable working conditions or sometimes a rough oxidized surface. For M materials, multiple factors such as heat resistance, wear resistance, and anti-cracking performance should all be taken into consideration. Hence, the recommended combinations here would be more based on actual working condition and application. With great capability of YBM grades, both EM and ER are recommended for multiple combinations, can achieve higher machining efficiency. EF chip breaker, however, only recommended combined with YBM 15-1 and YBM 15-3 for finishing applications requiring high precision and good surface quality. As for K materials, due to the short shipping and general cast iron application conditions, we only offering PM combined with YBD 052 for gray cast iron machining and YBD 102 for nodular cast iron machining. As for YBD 15-2 and YBD 25-2, we recommend it without chip breaker to enhance the insert toughness instead of wear resistance. The PVD grade summary. Firstly, for general machining, as we can see, are all second generations of PVD grades. The PVD coating has same but integrated security, makes these grades suitable for multiple working conditions, can be applied on various types of material. YBG 102, suitable for finishing and semi-finishing of high temperature alloys. YBG 202, the same, suitable for superalloys. And YBG 302 was particularly suitable for putting and grooving applications. Last one, YBG 212, has a wide range of machining capability for hard-to-cut materials. Next page, the fifth generation of PVD coating grades. With new aluminum titanium nitride-based multi-layer coating, YBG 105 has high wear resistance and anti-thermal oxidation ability, suitable for finishing and semi-finishing H materials and S materials. YBG 205, enhanced cutting edge, superfine aluminum titanium nitride nano coating with added rare elements to secure wear resistance and heat resistance, which is specially designed for actual finishing stainless steel workpiece, with relatively small size and high requirements on surface smoothness. For above PVD grades, here we will recommend following chip breakers for combination. YBG 202 combined with DM or P material finishing to semi-finishing applications. Also, YBG 202 and YBG 205 combined with EM or EF could separately be adopted on finishing to semi-finishing or fine finishing to actual finishing applications for M materials. For S material applications, we recommend NF and NGF combined with YBG 102 and YBG 105 for light cutting force finishing applications requiring high precision and good surface quality. YBG 212 with NGF also for high precision finishing applications, which was specially developed for double-sided insert with sharp edge for instance profiling applications, with good positioning and toughness requirements. NM combines with YBG 102 and YBG 105 has similar application range with NF chip breaker, but with higher machining efficiency and less requirements on surface quality. Last, SNR combines with YBG 102 and YBG 105, or sometimes YBG 212, commonly used on double-sided inserts with requirement on both side sharpness and sprints, generally being applied on roughing applications with high cutting depth and small cutting resistance. Last page for this part, the recommended cutting parameters for PVD grades for P, M, and S materials, from finishing, semi-finishing to roughing, have been clearly structured. Due to the different characteristics of workpiece, for P materials finishing, the cutting speed can achieve in 180 to 460 meters per minute, and for M materials, generally 170 to 300 meters per minute. For S materials are all below 90 meters per minute. Please also be noted, these recommended cutting parameters are for general reference. Please adopt well-timed specification and requirements during the actual machining applications. In conclude, and to verify what we have covered in previous parts, in following few pages, we are going to present and explain some infographics breakdown, which also could be very helpful for intuitive understanding. Take CVD grades for P material applications for example. On the horizontal direction to the right, we can see the grade's impact resistance matching with material hardness. As the vertical direction goes up, we can see the wear resistance parameters of the grades. Comparing YBC 25.1 with YBC 25.2 and YBC 35.1 with YBC 35.2, we can clearly see the second generation's CVD grades have higher wear resistance and larger coverage, hence wider capability. YBC 15.2 for finishing with excellent wear resistant capability, and YBC 052 here with high wear resistance but low hardness is clearly for fine finishing application with no cutting speeds and cutting depths. The new model CVD grade YB6315, however, with same level wear resistance but much better impact resistance, which could be for more general application use. Hence, on the next page here, recommended combination also suggesting YB6315 could combine with all DR, ZEM, and ADF chip breakers, and being separately applied from roughing to medium machining and to finishing operations under the good working condition. DR chip breaker combines with YBC 35.2. Both high strength cutting edges and multi-layer CVD coating could strengthen heavy roughing machining under the difficult working conditions. YBC 25.2 combines with DF for finishing high hardness materials under the bad working conditions. Under the medium working conditions, YBC 25.2 can also combine with ADF, DEM, and DR chip breakers. Same goes for the K materials. Please note the different covering ranges from YBD 052 to YBD 102 and to YBD 15.2. Also, the difference between YBD 15.2, YBD 15.2C, and YB7315 being for sticky K materials such as Ladula cast iron, the requirements for coating are higher wear resistance, and we have developed TC, the chip breaker, to combine with YB7315, or the previous grades, YBD 15.2C, for such applications. We can see these recommended combinations in the next page here. So, the M material applications. The key points being, for different applications, we have offered different solutions and options. YBM series, the CVD coating for continuous processing such as turning, putting, and grooving applications on stainless steels. YBG series and the YB9320, the PVD coating, however, could be adopted to more wider range of applications such as interrupt cards, milling, machining, or on other materials. Hence, we recommend the specially designed EF EM, and ER chip breakers for machining adhesive and high plasticity materials such as stainless steels. Please notice the EG chip breaker here was specially designed for precisioning, grooving, and profiling. For S material applications, both chip breaker NF, NGF, SNR, and NM, and PVD grades YBG series we had covered previously. Next page here, we are presenting the different cutting parameter ranges. Still, for S materials, we would like to introduce new YBS series with added rare elements specially designed for S materials. YBS 103 for turning applications, YBS 203 for medium machining, and YBS 303 for roughing and more suitable for general applications. For non-ferrous materials, both uncoated grades and YBG series we also had mentioned before, and we can tell by the covering ranges that PVD and uncoated grades are more suitable for general applications, and the PCD grade for specific applications. For the rest of this section, we'll give a brief introduction of ZCCCT's putting and grooving products and the threading products. Firstly, the coating for putting and grooving inserts. ZCCCT have three major series. They are ZP for putting applications, ZT for turning and grooving applications, and ZR for general turning or profiling applications. The third letter indicating the locating slots. The fourth letter, D, stands for double cutting edges, while the S stands for single cutting edge. The rest parts of the insert coating are insert thickness, nose radius, and chip breakers. As for tooling selecting, two important factors have been highlighted here. The L or R in the middle is indicating left or right hand of the tools. The last letter, L, indicating 90-degree type tools. H indicating straight type tools. Next, the three major application selection for our putting and grooving inserts and tools. Little square series putting blade and general tools with maximum putting diameter 120 mm and 60 mm. As for supplementary series cutting tool, with maximum putting diameter 70 mm. The threading products. ZCCCT is offering 6 series for selection: isometric thread, general pitch thread, width thread, unified thread, British standard pipe thread, and American standard pipe thread. The threading inserts coding starting with initial D. The following numbers indicating the IC diameters. Following letters: E for external, I for internal. R or L stands for right or left cutting directions. And based on the 6 different standard series, the rest part stands for screw pitches, thread profiles, and chip breakers.